Did something, but my first question before I actually start, did something happen to somebody for this current president to be president? Okay. Anyway, so I would like to thank, to start by thanking our ex-president John Dramani Mahama for this brilliant move. I mean, let me apologize for using this chess game analogy because it's not a game. However, I don't mean to dilute this nomination to a matter of game at all, but it was a brilliant strategic move, and it takes a man of vision, who is thinking about tomorrow, to go on and nominate a woman. He has the welfare of the nation at heart because he knows that it takes a village to raise a child, but it takes a woman to nurture and grow a village. So, to His Excellency, a big thanks for backing the trend and for bringing this woman on board. Thank you. I want to put out my hashtag, which is, and this is a tongue-in-cheek for the NPP. We have the women. Hashtag we have the women. They said they had the men. We have the women. And I also want to say, hashtag the 52%. Okay. So, in terms of this, what this guy said, I I don't know whether we should even spend precious time talking about what this guy said, because I believe he was just doing his political, typical partisanship politics, and needed to say something. So that is not a big deal. I don't even want to go over her credentials and all that, but I want to say something. I want to say a quote from our dear ex-president Barack Obama, who in Singapore said that if women ran every country in the world, there would be a general improvement in living standards and outcomes. Unquote. He also said, most of the problems in the world come from old people, mostly men, holding on to positions of power. I bet you he had the picture of our President Nadu when he was talking. I think this is a direct reference to our dear old president. There are a lot of advantages which we can talk. And the biggest thing is, my daughter said something one time when this Floyd thing happened, and she said, all my white friends are reaching out and apologizing and are saying, what can we do and stuff like that. And she said, why do they have to apologize to me? Do they think this is a black problem? This is a human problem, okay? This is about the human being. So I don't even want to make it just a woman's thing. This is for the good of Ghana. Be you a man or a woman. This is a thing that we all know the capabilities of women. And in as much as later on I want to focus on the women and to get them out to support, be they NPP or NDC or CPP or whatever, this is a big welcome to humanity that we have this capable, beyond capable woman. Beyond capable. I do not see anybody that compares to this lady. I mean, the VC Baunia, please, let's not go there. The current president does not measure. They come nowhere near. And I mean, this lady is the pros of this woman and the advantages. I just want to talk about, people are a little concerned. I want to make this as good as what I've heard her talk to interviewers, and she stays above the fray. And I want to, as much as possible, do that because it's a serious topic, and I don't even want to play too much partisanship, because I do believe that our women from across board have to join hands. Our men as well have to join hands. But let me just talk about the advantages of having women in leadership. It's so clear. It's so clear. We know that companies with a diverse gender leadership perform much better than those who don't have it. And we also know that women are very good listeners, very good communicators, and this improves the political process. I mean, if you cannot communicate, I heard Arnold saying, this guy has press conferences and doesn't even take questions, doesn't even listen. But we know that women are more interested in working across party lines. So that tells me right there, they champion issues of gender equality. They try to eliminate gender bias, talk about gender bias, violence, equal pay, all those issues that would help lift women into the political spheres are there. And I know she's already done a ton of those things. So I know that if we're talking about qualifications, we shouldn't even spend precious time talking about qualifications. She has all the stuff. I mean, impeccable record. She has a middle class appeal. She has, she's taught. There is this thing that my daughter raised that I also like very, very much. That is she being in education, because I also heard the men talking about the economics, and vice presidents have been, leaders in the economic sphere, and she's not bringing in any economic experience. But education, the educational experience is great. There is the education experience has a desire, those with educational experience desire to give the opportunity to our youth. I mean, you're dealing with educating people from primary school up through the tertiary levels. You have to think about the future. You have to think about the future of the kids, and the future belongs to the kids, as we hear all the time. And so we know that women give greater access, to people, to kids, to people, to access more economic resources. They create paths for other women. I'm not saying that the men don't do that, but they understand where they are coming from better. And so there is that nurturing, there's that nurturing that women bring. There is the question about just being an empathic listener. They are very empathetic, and I believe that she has that. All the qualities that make good leadership, she possesses. And so the issue of, is she qualified to lead if something should happen to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, it is neither here nor there, because what does it take? What does it take? The personality traits, the talents, the expertise, the knowledge, the wisdom. Look, she was the vice chancellor of the University of Cape Coast that had over, I would say, about 21,000 people that she managed. How many people did His Excellency the President Akufo-Addo manage in his puny law firm? 10, 12, 15? Let me give him 100. I know he didn't manage 100 people. And he was Attorney General. Then right there, he became president. And we see how poorly of a job he's doing. Now, this woman has managed a whole university with workers, with students, with auxiliary workers, you name it. And she's also managed she was the vice chancellor of a private university in Zimbabwe. And she's also now with the African, I don't know the exact, African University. Okay, yeah, exactly. I mean, this woman has this knowledge. Talk about Bawumia. Bawumia was the deputy governor of the bank, and then also taught in a school. That was the same. That was a similar institution that this woman managed. He didn't manage it. He was one of the people that she would have managed in the capacity as a vice chancellor. And when he burst on the scene in 2008, one reporter said, he was very shy, a bit timid, couldn't even say much. And yet they dared make him nominate him to be the running mate of Kufuor at the time. And nobody talked about, does he have the qualifications? Then he became the vice president. And boy, have we seen what he's done? We have seen what he's done. And if that is what they are using to measure, well, I understand that they're having, those qualms. So, I mean, there are so many things that we can talk about. I mean, some people have talked about age. And the interesting thing is nobody questions men about age. Nobody did, because if they did, we wouldn't have had this situation that we are in right now, because our president would be disqualified. Nobody talks about that, The people are talking about the fact that there was one guy who talked about her looks. Nobody talks about looks. I don't want to go down there. I mean, our president is not the best looking person out there, but that's neither here nor there. We're talking about qualities. We're talking about expertise. So I don't want us to go down the gutters, but if we have to, trust me, we have a lot of ammunition.
And I think that's an interesting point. Do you feel that we are having the kind of discussions and the kind of comments some people are making really are the issues we should be talking about when it comes to her nomination? Are we missing the point?
Well, they are doing exactly what we expect to be done. I think I'm trying to see what this quotation from, I think it was Margaret Thatcher or somebody, and I'm trying to look for it. She said something about the fact that if people attack your personality, if you are in leadership, it says, if they attack you personally, it means they have not a single political argument left, right? So instead of talking about the issues, talking about what the qualities and advantages are and what it is that the expectations, what we need from her, we brought it down to these unnecessary stuff. So we are now talking, but I think that's where I would say that the NDC, let me not put partisanship. I want folks across party lines to say, hey, there's a woman coming on. These are the things that we need to seriously talk about. Let the NDC women or the NDC men and women take the lead and reframe the questions, reframe the answers, reframe the issues. Let us direct them. I don't expect Chairman Wontumi to be able to sit down and put anything together, because he doesn't know. Even if he knew how to, they should allow him to speak his language. Maybe he would be able to express himself better and come up with more common sense stuff. So in answer to your question, we are not talking about that. However, if we leave it up to the partisan politics to be the ones leading this, then we are not ever going to be talking about that. So I want to congratulate you, Senna, for and Arnold and the Pro Forum folks for bringing things back. Let's talk about what it is that this woman is going to bring to the forefront. Let's talk about the fact that the 52%, the 52 hashtag, we have the 52% that are there who we are losing because most of the women don't have leadership role. We're losing talents, we're losing expertise, we're losing knowledge, we're losing wisdom, and we are losing a whole workforce if they are not involved in government. Seriously. These are the things that we're losing. And so once you bring women to if you're 52% and you are allowing the 48% to make all the rules, I mean, we know what the men have done. Come on. We know what they've done so far, which is good. We've seen their records, right? They haven't done squat. They've led us into this economic crisis. Now we have COVID crisis. There's corruption galore, and we don't even know where to go. And these are men that are leading, right? So if we have the proof that they haven't done anything, and there is this woman who has been able to do you all know that when she was at Cape Coast, she knew that they didn't have funding. I don't know if you've heard this. They didn't have funding as a warden. I think when she was a warden of Adishi Hall or something, they didn't have money for soap. They didn't have money for, toilet paper, basic stuff like that. And she needed those. So she went in and asked that all the paper, because they mark papers, exam papers, and you're supposed to keep the papers for at least, I think, exam papers for 7 years or something of the sort before you destroy them. And so people were being swallowed by paper in their offices. And she went in there and she said, we have a chemistry department here. What are we doing? Can you turn this paper, shred it when the 7 years comes up, shred it and turn it into toilet paper? Hey, we have a chemistry department. We have a business department. Can we make water? Can you test water, purify it, and let's sell it, bottle it and sell it and use it to fund? Can you make soap? So we're talking of proof where this person, the mistake we made was we did not get the proof of whether it's the Napos of the world, whether it's the Chei Bonsus of the world. We didn't put them to the scrutiny. And I would love for us to put them side by side with this woman and take one issue at a time. Let us elevate the conversation to not necessarily just talking about these people leading the way with the charges, attacking, and we find ourselves defending. Let us change the trajectory and have the conversation raised to a different level. And thank you for that.